Hello, everybody. All right, so there we go with that. All right, RJ. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there. I saw my son today. I'm going to see him some more tomorrow. So that makes me a happy camper.
All right.
We're going to we're going to sit down tomorrow and he and I are going to sit down tomorrow and do this. So
Oh, do a Lego thing.
yeah, this is from the Batman movie. This is the motorcycle from the movie.
Okay.
So it's
And we got Metal here in the house. Hey, Metal. Metal's been doing some. Metal's been doing some interesting videos of late. Not just his vomitorium, but he's been kind of showing everybody a little bit about his livelihood. RJ, were you still trying to get the link to your
no, I've got it. I just didn't share it yet.
Okay.
I can do that.
I know you were saying you were wanting to share. So RJ, since you're here, why don't you? Granted, I know people already probably know who you are, but just for official sake here, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Talk about whatever projects you're involved in, your channel, all the good
I
stuff.
Well, I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics, myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing. And yes, we still do help crowdfunders with their data and my 35 years of data engineering experience through Critical Blast Consulting. And now I can add comic book writer to that list because my story in Out of Obscurity, which is on fundmycomic.com, is an 8-page story featuring the Clock, whom most of you watching were introduced to on this very show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you put it in the private chat, so I guess I got to call that up.
Oh, apparently I did. Yeah, well, I can't comment on the comment side in StreamYard.
Oh, you can't open like a second window for it.
Oh, I can. I can open up the YouTube window. I just have to mute it real fast because otherwise we'll start hearing ourselves
An
in
echo.
echo time. Yeah. Let's see.
Okay.
Here I
Well,
go. Come
I
on,
just
go.
copied it, but if you're gonna do it anyways,
Boom. There. And we are over halfway funded. So it's only a $1,200 goal. I don't expect to make any money out of it. I just expect to say, hey, there's my comic. And I even have, there's even a page. It's not the official colored artwork. It's just got some flats on it. But I've talked with the colorist and he's like, oh, those colors. Yes, of course we can make that happen.
yeah. And of course, here's the link. Here's the link to the Fund My Comic page for his thing right there. Let's see. Let me go back up because I did miss something here. Oh my return! Oh my return to vlogging.
Blogging.
It's actually the type of content I used to do way back in 2011. Wow, it's even had it since 2011. Oh, I respect the retro revival.
That's all Out of Obscurity is it's a bunch of public domain golden age characters being having new stories told about them.
And it's kind of funny because one of the goals I have for this very show, right, the historical comic retrospect, is to kind of try to you know is to try to um, reignite some of those passions from way back when. Kind of with all of the stuff that's being published today, with a lot of the stuff, particularly from the mainstream, and how we talk about how it seems more like they're more about pushing agendas now than and we need diversity, we need to push this, we need to push that. You know, for those who did grow up on comics, that's not. I mean, not to say that, of course, they didn't do it to a degree back then. We're going to see that quite a bit as we get more and more into the 40s here. With the wartime propaganda, but it wasn't quite as bad, and it at least made more sense back then because at least
sure,
they were trying to tell the story instead of just making it all about pushing a particular agenda.
war was what everybody was talking about, so it made sense to be in the stories that way. And comics were propaganda tool at the time, so especially Captain America. So, Metal, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Metal's going to drop the fundraiser link into his forum on his Discord, along with the link.
Too. And Metal, of course, I know I gave you a wrench already too. So if you want to again plug anything of yours, your channel projects, what have you, feel free to do so. That's always. But as I was saying, my big thing about with the historical comic retrospect is to try to go back in time and show everybody kind of reignite those flames that got people into comics in the first place. So, and I'm happy that through the exposure I've given the clock, that did somewhat inspire you to write a story with him. I'm glad to hear that.
I even referred to him once as Captain Napkin Face.
Yeah, and that was something we started here on the show. That my original co-host was, I think, one of the first ones to start doing that. Captain Napkin Face, because of course his mask looked kind of like a like he just draped a napkin over it.
Well, it was. He just tucked it up into his hat and let it hang down.
Yeah. So anyway, do you have I'm hearing an echo. Do you still have the YouTube page, YouTube window open on?
I do, but I have it muted.
Yeah.
Now I don't have it open. So.
All right. Anyway, so now that we got some of the prelims out of the way here, so why don't we go ahead get started? The first thing, as I said, I was going to do tonight, we're going to just take a quick peek at a summary page from GCD, Great Comics, or Grand Comics database here. Let me, of course, pull the information up we need here. And do this first, of course, just because this will be a pretty quick part of it here. I'm going to drop. Okay. Yeah, we already saw that. Okay. So, yeah, that's the main page there. But what we want, of course, is to focus. That's for number 33, obviously. But what we want to focus on is number 5. As you saw in that little thing there, it had well over 100 issues. Now, while, of course, I don't know sales numbers in terms of how many, RJ, I've talked about this a bit before. I usually will focus on how many books a publisher is publishing at a particular time, as to tell how successful they may have been, or just what their workload was, right? I know every time I get into that, if a publisher is publishing 4 or 5 books, well, how many did they sell here or sell there? That information I don't know. But what I can tell you is that that if a book went only 4 or 5 issues, probably didn't sell too well. But if
wasn't selling enough to keep going. Yeah,
huh?
It wasn't selling enough to continue going. Wasn't paying for itself.
But if it, let's say, had 150, 200, then that it was probably selling enough to keep going for a while. Well, we do know, of course, Action Comics and Detective Comics were longtime sellers. Those had some pretty high issue counts there. So yeah, so no title index. Of course, the cover page here had Henry on the cover along with Mandrake the Magician. Henry, penciled and inked by Joe Musial. Among the features that were in Magic Comics #5, included Mandrake the Magician, 8 pages, basically a lot of these in these anthology comics like this were pretty much reprints of what was in the papers at the time. So had Mandrake, who is written by Lee Falk with Phil Davis doing the art. Mandrake finds Jeff two-timing Dot with another girl. And an Aloysius, Indian Lore from by Jimmy Thompson, Roger by Bob Dunn, Edwina Dumb, Tippy, and Cap Stubbs. And you see all the different Inspector Wade by Sheldon Stark and Neil O'Keefe, The Romance of Flying from Clayton Knight, which was reprinted again in feature book, another title from David McKay, circa late 1942 in issue number 33. So, Secret Agent X9, Carl Anderson's Henry, Humor Children, strip reprints. Popeye. I asked me, Papa, to watch after Olive and Wimpy. You see it right there. Barney Baxter from of course, I'm pretty sure that's not the same Frank Miller that many would associate with The Dark Knight Returns. You see that, RJ?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, not the same Frank Miller. The original Frank Miller.
Yeah. That's the Little Acorns, Humor Children, Little Nature Stories, Cheek Young's Blondie. Daisy hasn't come home yet. Oh. And they just give me an idea here. Look at the different stories and the different genres. You had humor, anthropomorphic, funny. You had humor, children. You had drama. You had superhero, domestic. All a bunch of different stories, different looks. All right. So with that, now that we got that out of the way, now it's time to get on to our feature. Hey, Woody. Hey, look who's here, RJ.
Hey, Woody. Good to see you, man.
Yeah. And of course, RJ, I'll have you do the narration. I know you like doing that. Do a pretty good job with that. Did you want to try to do more than narration, or is narration fine for you tonight? Because I know you said you were a bit tired.
I'll do what I can.
All right. All right. So let's as soon as I can find the thing here. So the first story we're going to look at, of course, is Amazing Man. Yeah, an Amazing Man. Actually, made this. Gotta go back to something here so I can help me keep track of it a little better here. Hold on a sec. I need to go out for a second. I may have dropped a sock earlier. I'll be right back. RJ, do you want to entertain everybody for a moment? I'll be right back.
I think we're all very entertained right now by the concept of how you dropped a sock and why that's a thing. Is that like a euphemism or something that I'm not familiar with? 'Cause I'm gonna have to try that out. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to shut the show down for a little bit because I think I dropped a sock. Um, yeah, I'm gonna hold on to that one. That's the kind of excuse that builds suspense. Because now I got to know: is it a white sock? Is it a knee-high sock? Is it one of those black silk socks? Fishnet? Could be. I don't know. Little white lacy thing. But whatever it is, it's a sock that got dropped. Um, I hate when I drop socks. Of course, that's because my laundry is in the garage, and I pull clothes out of the washer and I drop a sock, it's like on the dirty concrete floor. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Now I got to wash the sock again. I don't, but I don't wear it until the next laundry time. So none of this is at all entertaining, by the way. And I get that. You know what's entertaining? Comic books are entertaining. I bought some today. I bought old comics, and I cannot wait. I'm just going to show my favorite one here. This is a copy of Supergirl number 10, and she's rescuing, or actually not rescuing, Prez. If you remember the 70s, Prez was the first teenage president of the United States. And it wasn't very often that he crossed over into regular DC continuity because it was a goof. I also got this adventure comics here with the origin of Black Orchid. And I got All-Star Squadron number 1, which I actually used to own originally. So putting that one back in my collection. And now, on with the show.
Yeah, I saw what you were doing there, so I thought I'd give you the full screen there, my friend.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I misheard something my sister said, but we got that all cleared up. So
we had a long conversation about what it means to drop a sock. So
yeah, well, I didn't. I thought I heard she was saying something totally different. So everything I ever wanted. Well, the thing is, when you're doing laundry during the day, and sometimes you're carrying it from the laundry room back to your room or whatever, that kind of thing. So,
yeah, when you're doing that, be thankful if it's just a sock.
Yeah. Everything I ever wanted to know about socks, I was afraid to ask. Okay. I just go with white and all pretty much match.
I'll have a confession. I have a set of Justice League socks that I picked up at Walmart, and they were Justice League. I had money. I bought socks, and I'm like, that's cool. And you pull them up, and it's like their faces stretch around your ankle like silly putty.
Right. But some of them have heels. Okay, heels and sprayed, grayed out. Those are tough. To mat sometimes. Let's see.
I like it. I like
Holy
it.
cow!
Not on me, but
All right. So, anyways, let's get back to our feature presentation. As I said, let me pull that.
You say that, and all I can hear in my head now is da 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 da. That's for all the people who used to stay up late at night and watch HBO, and they say, and now our feature presentation, and the music would come on.
So did you like that? Well, I do a lot of TV talk, with how So I mean, it's kind of funny because if you remember, that's kind of one of the things that I guess Pops would get annoyed with me about, right? Where well, you sound like a bleeding commercial, Oh yeah, because that's just how I present, All right, so let's see. I'm just pulling up a separate page here because then when that when you start getting to the point where you have a whole bunch of companies you're covering, you sometimes need something to kind of help keep you organized, right?
Yes.
So,
lost.
Amazing Man number 8. That's the first one we're going to look at. Amazing Man Comics number 8, which we'll be looking at the Amazing Man feature in that.
And I don't think I have read any Amazing Man, so this is going to be an introduction.
This is Amon the Amazing Man, of course, not to be confused with the DC character later.
Oh.
Of Amazing Man, not. It's kind of funny because we talked about that before. So the original Amazing Man that we're going to read here, of course, was written by Bill Everett. And then there was the Amazing Man in DC who was named Will Everett.
Right.
Who was a contemporary of Jesse Owens. So.
And he got introduced in this series, not this issue, but they introduced him in All-Star Squadron. So that's where we first get to see him.
Yeah.
Amazing man.
People appreciated a woman's leg back then.
They appreciate it today too.
Well, we've seen the good girl art of the old days, haven't we, RJ?
Yes, we have. Have we covered Phantom Lady yet, or is that still coming up?
That's still coming. She like none of the freedom fighter. Well, actually, no. Slight correction. Only two of the quote unquote freedom fighter characters have been introduced at this point with our quality readings, and that's the Invisible Hood and Doll Man. Those are the only two as of yet to be introduced.
Okay. I like the one in the middle, mini midget. It's like,
yeah,
he's like extra small. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you read that, RJ? Or
I've got the full screen blown up, so I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll let you do the narration.
In Tibet, 25 years ago, the Council of Seven selected an orphan, and each taught him all they knew. He grew to manhood and, after passing many important tests, proved his amazing strength, knowledge, and power. Finally given the secret of disappearance by a green mist, he goes into the world as Amun, the amazing man. But before we get into the story, let's scan this telegram explaining what happened after we left Amman last month. Western Union, Chief of State Police. Something's going off the screen. Can't read the text. Needs a scroll. Have caught members of gang plotting to destroy Dan Thane's. Too amazing man. Stop. Awan disappeared in the usual green mist. Stop. Could not track him. Stop. Returning with prisoners tonight. Stop. Al Connolly, Deputy Sheriff. Stop.
All right.
And on a busy street in the capital, we find Amun strolling nonchalantly.
War declared in Europe. Paper, mister. You want to try that guy?
Sure. That's Amun. I think that's Amun.
Okay.
This looks interesting.
I guess we'll give you Amun right there.
Okay. And the war is declared. Allies go to the aid of Poland. That's who would be there in that headline. Well, this sort of spoils my plans for getting even with the Great Question. But that can wait. War will be a much more interesting adventure. I'll have to get my airplane away from the police at the airport somehow.
Yeah, and of course, the last few times we've had like Tim and a few others on as code, we've been talking about how now you're starting to see more and more of the like war propaganda stories in which we're talking a lot about this. How since a lot of the comic creators at this time were like Jewish.
Yeah.
Descent, how they were trying to get people to join the war efforts in Europe.
The writers and creators the editors were very much telling them cut that out because they didn't want to get involved. And if you really want to get a good view of that, read the novel The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, which is fiction, but it's based in that comic book world where about a couple of comic book creators and their character, the escapist. Under cover of a darkened doorway, Aman assumes his most startling disguise.
Yeah.
And
hold on a quick sec, RJ, because Woody just said something here. Multiple amazing men. I'm so confused.
Yep. It happens. It's very hard to trademark that name. And a moment later emerges a green mist. I'll have to find a taxi heading for the airport and smuggle myself in. If the police catch me, I'm done for.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny if you could turn yourself into a green mist. You'd probably just get in about anywhere you could think of. Yeah. Just find one little small crack, turn yourself into green mist, and just kind of saunter yourself in.
So he's just kind of invisible.
Yeah. To the airport. Oh wait. Oh, okay. Actually, that part's you right there. Oh wait, actually, no, that's somebody else. Okay, because we see
That's the
the
lady saying that.
what to the airport driver.
Yep.
Oh, that doesn't look like a lady to me. It looks like a guy.
It's a lady. It's not a guy in a skirt.
Oh wait. I see where the tail is now. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. To the airport, driver, and please hurry.
What luck! The unsuspecting young lady shall have company.
Okay. Heavens, driver, there's an awful draft back here.
Oh, lady, you must be allergic to spring. There ain't no breeze today.
Ah, okay, that was kind of hard to. Sometimes with the copy and all that, sometimes hard to
Yeah,
tell.
well, you notice the tails on these balloons, they kind of wiggle around. They don't just go straight to the person.
Right. I mean, could you imagine being a miss too? I mean, especially if you're going around women and like have the chance to kind of.
Hey, we've all had that fantasy. Of course, I was 13, but you know.
Yeah. I'm sure we've had numbers of fantasies about being invisible and all that. So
At the airport. Sorry,
I'm,
miss. I'd like to help you with your bags, but I'm in an awful hurry. Thanks for the ride. Dusk is falling, and under cover of its shadows, Amon prepares to enter the army warehouse.
all right. Look like Woody had something more to say there.
Oh, I can't see the comments anymore.
Yeah. I'm just chatting out there. There's no need to read my comment. Oh, okay.
Which we just read. So,
Which we just read anyway. So, well, I like because at the airport, that you should have read that, but that's it. Again, how they write this stuff sometimes is like hard to.
yeah. A few moments tinkering with the lock, and the invisible, amazing man opens the door. Inside, here's what I want: machine guns and a few thousand rounds of ammunition. Now to smuggle it into my plane. He just steals things. He steals stuff. Unnoticed, the crated machine guns, apparently suspended in the air, deposit themselves in Amon's plane.
Well, before you continue on there, something that does seem to happen a lot in these comics, um, and it really is. You see it a lot in quality comics and quite a few of these other pulp style comics. The Constitution at times gets thrown right out the window.
Oh, they're just criminals.
All right,
And
continue.
under the very eyes of the guards, the little ship suddenly comes to life.
Oh yeah, and I hope you guys don't mind the background noise. Apparently, we're having my nephew's girlfriend is going to be staying the night tonight, so I guess they're getting ready for her stay. So if you hear some additional background noise, that's what's going on. Just in case you're wondering.
I haven't heard anything, but my air conditioner is right next to me, and it keeps kicking on.
Yeah. So. RJ?
Oh, there it is. I thought it was the same picture. The monoplane slips through the ether, knifing its way eastward across the Atlantic, stocked with ammunition and canned food. Amon is all set for trouble. Many hours later, the ship settles down on a French farm, nearly 60 kilometers behind the Maginot Line. All is quiet here, save for occasional faint booming from the distant guns. Hello, Frenchie. Me? Oh, I'm just fixing up an impromptu defense for your belligerent neighbors. I'm sure friend Daladier won't mind.
Bonjour, monsieur. Questique que vos. Actually, I think I should have read that before. That probably should have come before then.
They should have printed it before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In an hour, Aman is on his way again, his innocent-looking plane now formidable with its 2 machine guns, one pointing forward and one aft. He heads east. So he got to France and then mounted the machine guns. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Got plenty of gas.
And that's all in cursive. I wouldn't.
Yeah, he goes behind the Maginot Line. He meets the enemy's reconnaissance planes. The attack is instant. Fiercely, Aman battles against outstanding odds.
Yeah, just sometimes how they write some of this stuff up, in terms of,
Suddenly, however, his ship bursts into flames, struck by a myriad of enemy bullets. But Aman leaps to safety, to the safety of his parachute, only to find himself dropping into the hands of the aggressors.
Wow, that's got to be quite perilous, huh?
Must. Was willst du haben?
Good Nacht, mein Herr. I must ask you to accompany me. American, you are, by this decree of court-martial, sentenced to 1 year of penal servitude in concentration camp number 23365 AC.
And notice they didn't just shoot him for being an American because America wasn't in the war yet. He was not a combatant to them. And by the court's decree, Aman is transferred from Berlin to a small concentration camp in the northern part of Germany. It would appear that I am one of the millions of innocent victims of the aggressor's regime, save that I'm not exactly innocent. But they shall not hold me. The green mist, as usual, shall be my liberator. No, it does not work. Something has gone amiss. Oh, you're screwed now, buddy.
Maybe, or maybe not. Let's see.
I have forgotten the weekly hypodermic injection. Professor Nika warned me that I must use his solution at least once a week to maintain my capacity for making myself invisible. This puts me in a very bad spot.
There's another hero who had that kind of limitation to his powers, if you remember.
A lot of them.
Yeah. The one I'm thinking of course, is Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
I didn't charge my back. I didn't charge my ring. It's been 24 hours.
Yeah.
So. And remember, there used to be the same limitation on Aquaman. If he didn't get in contact with water for 24 hours, he would get sick.
Oh, yeah, and I think Namor, same thing. Namor, who, of course, is another Bill Everett creation here.
Yeah, that's right.
Auch mein Herr, why must you look so miserable? Things are not always so bad. Will you have some soap?
No, go away. Don't bother me. Wait, Fritzy, you look like an intelligent man, and perhaps you don't believe in magic, but I want to show you something. I possess an object that can make you the most powerful man in the entire German Empire, providing you use it discreetly. Come aside and let me demonstrate. You are a fine specimen of a fine race, and with this ring as your slave, you may rule the whole world. With this ring on your finger, you have the strength of 100 men, the brains of 100 scientists, and the physical alertness of 100 antelope. With this ring, the world is yours. See how easy it is. Yeah. Wearing the ring, I can smash my bare fist through a solid brick wall. Watch now. And with practically no effort. Yeah, he's developing new powers.
Buttering up this guy, isn't he?
Yeah. And with practically no effort, I defy the law of gravity by springing lightly to the roof of this building. And that isn't all. It gives me brain power, but it doesn't let me remember to take my injection.
Yeah.
You may ask me any question that pops into your mind, and I will guarantee to answer it. But will I be right? What more can one ask? Look, Fritzy, I make this proposition to you. If you can get my personal belongings back to me, all of them, I'll give you the ring. Appealing to the German's vanity, Amon has struck a responsive chord, and by promising wonders, he wins his cause.
Ja, ja, I get their belongings for you. You give me the ring. Ja, I get that stuff now. Doesn't sound too bright, does he?
No, no, no. Whoa. Grimly, Amon smiles as the Nazi guard departs. Fool. He doesn't know that I can do these things anyway. The ring has nothing to do with it. All I want now is the hypodermic needle and Nika's formula. In a few moments, the guard returns.
Ja, Mynheer, here is their belongings. Now, where is that ring, huh?
Ah, mein Lieber, danke. I will give you the ring in a moment.
Mine was is das. What are you doing with that bundle? Act there, Captain.
Okay, Butch, let's have no trouble. That package belongs to me. Now beat it. Quick as a flash, Amon snatches the package from the hands of the dumbfounded Nazi. Sorry, children, but I've no time to play. I'll have to move plenty fast now. And before the bewildered guards come to life, Amon leaps to the roof of the canteen building. Quickly, he loads the hypodermic needle, found in the bundle with the rest of his things, and injects the magical fluid into his arm.
He is crouching behind the parapet of the roof. After him, men, and shoot to kill. Maybe not the most perfect German accent, but at least I'm trying. Right?
That's all we want.
Huh.
But they don't know the green mist. Amon, invisible, leaps from the roof and escapes. Dodging the Nazis was easy. Now we find him perched on an armored car. Suddenly, the attack begins. Amon topples to the ground. Rising, unhurt, he races across the bloody terrain, heading for the French lines. Miraculously, he makes it and dives into a dugout. He becomes visible. Quick, give me a uniform and a rifle. I can help you. 15 minutes later, clad in the uniform of the French army, the amazing man goes over the top. As he crouches in a machine gun pit, he sees a giant shell screaming toward him.
I'm thinking that maybe you want to read the narration, which is down at the bottom there.
Faster than lightning, he leaps to catch it. This is one baby whose plans have been changed.
I always had the impression, no matter where the narration should probably come first before the dialogue.
I agree. Yeah.
Huh?
I completely agree.
I just gotta find my eyes can catch it. Oh, there we go. There it is.
With a resounding thud, Amon smacks back to Earth with the deadly missile.
C'est impossible, Jésus, zig zig. Verité, il est incredible.
Watch now, we'll send this baby right back home.
Mon Dieu, regardez Pierre.
And that's not all, my friends. I can't win this war myself, but I intend to have some more fun with it. I'm going to disappear now, but watch what happens. Amon, in the green mist, sees a huge German tank crashing toward him, and he rushes to intercept it. Suddenly, it seems to leap into the air of its own volition and crashes back to the ground with a horrible rending of steel and iron. The
So
amazing
what do
man
you
is at
think?
work in
Okay, hold
earnest.
on. Before you continue on there, before you continue on to the last one, what do you think happened right there?
Apparently, he can throw a tank.
Yeah, but was it? Did he do it with his hands, or maybe did he do it with the mist?
That's a good question because
Yeah,
apparently he didn't
because
need to have the
the
mist to be
mist
able
can
to.
rise. I mean, if the mist, if he can make the mist solid enough, maybe he can lift the tank off the ground and toss it. Right?
Possibly,
Theoretically.
I guess.
All right, continue on.
Over the brow of the hill he races, straight for the enemy lines. And down into the valley, where a battery of German howitzers hammers shells into the French Maginot line.
Donnerwetter, green cloud gas.
Oh, finally somebody sees the green mist. Lady in the back of a taxi didn't even notice it, but that's ah,
Just the way they wrote stories back then. We just ask
yeah.
metal. Just ask metal about the Shock Gibson story we read last week.
In a frenzy to don their masks, the unfortunate Nazis are thrown off balance as the mighty howitzer whips into the air. And, like the tank, crashes to the ground, hopelessly demolished. Helpless, the astounded soldiers watch their guns being wrecked one by one.
God in Himmel, what is happening? There is no sign of the enemy, yet our guns are being destroyed.
Then, suddenly, as a Nazi plane approaches, one of the guns spins about and lets loose its charge towards its own base.
Wow, that's kind of something.
The plane dives to investigate the strange doings, and Amon, seeing further fun with France's enemy, leaps to catch its fuselage. And abruptly, the ship banks and to speed toward the capital.
Look, a plane. She goes back to the hinterlands. Why does she not help us?
Amon has worked fast. The little bomber spreads death and destruction on its own Vaterland, with Amon at the controls. The dead pilot behind him, the dead pilot behind him, Amon grins evilly while bombing his way back to Berlin. What will happen to him now? See your next issue.
So that part in red there, the dead he grin. Get this, so they got a hero grinning evilly.
Yes. Oh, yes.
All right. So how did you like that story, RJ?
That was the simple times where it's like, hey, give me a uniform. I'm going to fight. They're like, you're not a soldier and you follow orders and you don't just, run off to do your own thing. No, he just does what he wants.
Okay, so yeah, to issue 12 there. All right, so let's get ready to move on to I just because we're trying to get through as many stories as possible. Of course, that's why I figured if people want to really see the rest of the comic, they can go look at it. But because we're trying to get through a lot of stories here, we're already at the 44-minute mark, so that was the longest of the stories we're covering. So that's like 10 pages right there. So now let's get on to the next story, which this time we're going to be reading Speed Centaur. That's a feature we're going to be looking at. Let's see. 12, there it is. And we'll just kind of flash through everything until we get to the story we're going to get to. Animal Affair and Speed Centaur are the two main features here for this book.
Okay.
Look at how they drew sci-fi back then.
Yeah, well, it all look the same.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Speed Centaur by Malcolm Kincaid.
Speed Centaur! Speed Centaur, the amazing half horse, half man who came out of the north and mopped up crime in the city of rackets, now looks forward to a well earned vacation at the stables. At their usual meeting place, Speed's Cave on Knobnose Mountain, we find Speed Centaur and Real McCoy, reporter.
Yeah. Hold on a sec, RJ. Once again, I kind of forgot to do something. I forgot
Okay.
to put my do not disturb on my phone. But why don't you talk to everybody while
I'm just wondering about Speed Centaur's secret identity. I mean, does he, put on a pair of glasses and he's just like, a typical racehorse? And like, oh, look at that racehorse out there. Just he really moves along, or maybe no, he'd be like Barry Allen, always late to everything. He'd be a very slow horse. I mean, how do you disguise who you are when your superhero identity is Speed Centaur? Um, you have to be that way all the time. So yeah, I guess you'd have to have a cave. Apparently, it's a cave with a marble floor. Nice job there, because you're a centaur. Last thing you want to be doing is walking around a cave floor all the time. You're gonna hubble yourself. Um, I do like the multicolored stalagmites growing up from the base of the floor there.
all right. So let me see. Well, Speed, I guess you're all set for a long vacation. Yes, Rio, but I've made a startling discovery, so I think you and I will spend that vacation exploring. Yeah, Speed, what's up? Come on, I'll show you.
Leading Reel into the far recesses of the cave, Speed stops at a huge boulder leaning against the cave wall. Look, it's a rock.
Here it is, watch.
Without the slightest effort, Speed rolls aside the huge boulder.
Why? It's another cave. Yes, you and I are going to find out what's at the other end. Okay, let's go.
After traveling for 2 days, Speed and Reel start to cross a natural bridge formation over a deep gorge. Halfway over the
What was so
halfway
funny about that?
2 days. They go into a cave and they don't say, "Wow, we've gone a long way. Let's go back now." No, 2 days. Just keep going.
All right.
Halfway over, Reel cries out.
Yeah, man. Put your peepers on that, baby.
For there on the far end of the bridge stands a terrifying monster. It's Igu. Um,
Looks like a triceratops.
yeah, kinda. Before Speed and Reel can retire to a more favorable position for the inevitable battle, the brute charges. Kids love dinosaurs. Speed grasps the monster's horn and throws him over the narrow bridge, out over the bottomless chasm. But in doing so, Speed slips, and he too is about to hurl to a certain death. Luckily, however, his powerful arm caught a protruding rock, stopping his fall. After Speed pulls himself onto the narrow bridge, the intrepid pair continue their journey.
Whew. Oh wait, oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Whew. What a nice quiet vacation. Another one like that, and I'll be cutting out paper dolls. Look, Rio. It seems to be lighter through there. Yeah, yes, you're right. You're right, boy. Will I be glad to get out in the sunshine? This cave gives me the creeps.
Approaching the light, they see that the sun's rays are pouring into the cave from behind a massive boulder. What was lighting up the rest of it if the sun was blocked out all the other time? It should have been dark.
Hmm. Well, it looks like you do some more pebble pushing.
Speed rolls aside the huge stone, and the pair look out on a beautiful forest. As they walk along a road through the forest, Reel speaks.
Listen, someone's coming.
Out of the forest gallop two knights. Upon sighting Speed and Reel, they stop and call out.
You want to do the night here?
Sure. Prepare to do battle, you weird-looking creatures. Whosoever takes this road must fight the 10 Knights of Doom. We are the first two.
Da 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 da.
We are the knights who saved me.
Trying to find where the arrow is. Okay.
It's the
Yeah, I just found it. Nice, boys. It seems you have to play whether you want to or not. Wish I had a Tommy gun. I'd put a couple of holes in those tin suits they're wearing.
Without further ado, the two knights charge down on Speed and Reel, who haven't any weapons and no armor to protect themselves. Swiftly sidestepping the onrushing knights, Speed grasps the point of one knight's spear and with lightning-like movements lifts him completely out of the saddle and into the air. Meanwhile, Reel has picked up a long, sturdy stick, and as the remaining knight bears down on him, quickly stepping aside, Reel jabs the stick between the charging horse's legs, sending both rider and the horse crashing to earth.
Ouch! That's gotta hurt.
Oh, yeah. With both knights knocked out, Reel talks the situation over.
Say, Speed, I can't figure this out. We seem to be in the Middle Ages. Yes, it's very strange. Maybe the next night we meet on this road will explain.
Another night of doom?
We're not taking this road, are we? Think of the other 8 nights of doom, and besides, we haven't anything to fight with. Yes, we have. Yes, we have put that one's armor on, and I'll take the other ones. Oh, okay. Oh, I see how that should have been said. I kind of read that a little wonky.
It's hard to. Oh,
you want to do that night as well as the little.
Now this is Reel and Speed now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, how do you? Oh, okay. I see now. Well, how do How do I look? Gee, if the gang in the office could see me now, just call me Sir Lancelot McCoy. Now, mind you, just so you know, because I don't know if read this with me before, but real McCoy here is a journalist.
Right. Yeah, it said that at the beginning of the story.
Yeah. Come on, never mind the chatter. We have to get going. I want to find out what this is all about.
Once more, the two start along the road through the forest.
Say, Speed, with this outfit on, I'm not worried so much, but suppose the 8 knights come all at once, jabbing these toothpicks at us, and yow! Look!
I think here they come.
You said it.
Standing directly in the path of Speed and Reel stood the 8 remaining Knights of Doom.
Duh, 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 duh. All right, you want to do that night right there?
Charge, men! No one must pass us! The Knights of Doom charge down on Speed and Reel, who, though greatly outnumbered, fight back with the fury of a hurricane. Knight after knight fell before the terrific thundering charges of Speed, while Reel fought as though he were possessed with the very devil himself.
Wow, look at that! Look at his writing. His writing's pretty good here. You know,
He's a
using
reporter.
the language here. You know, pretty good, pretty descriptive there.
As the leader of the knights fled into the forest, Speed sends the last one crashing to earth.
Well, they're washed up all but the one that got away. Yeah, but we won't worry about him. Let find. I guess it should be let's find out why or what this is all about. What this is about.
As the pair turn a bend in the road, they sight a castle in the distance.
There's another narration up top there.
Approaching the castle, Speed speaks.
It seems to be deserted.
After searching the castle and finding it empty, they hear a faint noise coming from behind a huge oaken door.
It came from in here, Speed.
Finding the door locked, Speed breaks through it as though it were made of matches.
Quite a powerful centaur, isn't he?
Well, I guess he's supposed to be. I'm going to have to go in a little bit here, Mike. I'm getting a lot of calls coming in, and they're important.
Oh, you're going to have to go?
Yeah, after this story.
All right.
I've got to get back with these people.
All right.
Because if they're blowing up that much, something's going on.
All right. Well, let's try to get done. Is that why you were pausing a lot there? Because you were getting
calls? I'm like, text me. Tell me what's going on. To their amazement, they find a young knight chained to the wall.
Well. We had better get you out of here. Well, we better get you out of here. All right.
So saying, Speed rips the chains from the wall, freeing the knight.
Why are you and why were you chained? Who are you and why were you chained?
I'm Prince John of Avon, My uncle keeps me his prisoner and rules my land. I'm guarded at all times by my uncle's knights.
No, no more. You're not. You're free now. We just dusted them off.
You mean I can leave here and try to regain my rightful position?
Yes, and we're going to help you.
But you will be killed. My uncle has many knights guarding him.
Let's see. We won't worry about that. Besides, I have a bone to pick with your uncle. He's spoiling my quiet vacation.
Hey, you're the one who went in to the cave. No one came after you.
Quiet vacation.
Yeah. Be sure and follow Speed Centaur, who has further thrill-packed adventures next month.
All right. So, all right. Well, before we continue on, I know RJ, you said you had to leave because you had to go take care of something.
Yeah.
So just before you leave, couple of things. Obviously, we already know you're going to be back here on the 18th. So that part we don't need to worry about. I hope you'll join us on Sunday. I'll send you the link on Sunday to join us so you can talk about your experiences, from what your impressions are from reading here.
If I'm back, then I should be back.
All right. Well, hopefully everything's okay. But if you want to, you want to do an outro real quick, on anything you want to.
I have no outro. Check out Out of Obscurity on Fund My Comic. The link is in the chat.
All right. Well, thank you for being here for the time you were here, RJ. I hope to see you back here on Sunday.
I will do my best, sir. But like I said, I got a lot of crap going on now. Suddenly I have a real business. it's a reality.
I'll probably call, if I don't call you later, maybe I'll call you tomorrow to find out how everything went.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye. All right. So now it looks like I'll have to do the reading all by myself for the rest of the show, but that should be okay. There's only a couple more stories, a couple books. So anyways, we'll just be on the hour mark here, so we should be fine. Let me just get to this here. All right, well, we didn't need to go back. All right, so with that then, let's see. All right, so let me just go ahead, just remind myself of the next. So let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. And I do thank everybody for the likes and shares. Hopefully we get some more people looking on us. Oh, with that, let's see now. So let me just run myself with the next thing here. Let's see. Actually, before I do continue on here, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. So I'll put some music on while I'm away. I'll be right back. All right. So anyway, so now we're gonna, of course, move on to um, Keen Detective Funnies. We're looking at going to be looking at Dean Denton, Science Detective here. Okay. All right, so there we go. Of course, the Mass Marvel. Of course, we're gonna be looking at another kind of break through the book real quick. So now, hour 7. All right, so let's look at all this here. Mass Marvel Super Sleuth. There's a very simplistic mask right there. And nice and color coordinated too with that Sparkle Larry Radio News Hawk. And Dixon FBI, a little red and white there. How to be an amateur G-Man. Ed Colton, the Knight Rider. Dramatic Dilemma. Dean Masters, DA. Comic Rhymes. Spy Hunters. The ICs. Here we go. Dean Denton, Scientific Detective. The Case of the Man Who Would Not Die by Harry Francis Campbell. All right, so Dean, America's foremost ventriloquist, has given up his stage career in order to help others solve their problems through science. At last, Dean has caught up with public enemy number 1, Bolton Gates, who calls himself the Conqueror. The Conqueror is in the death house at San Quentin, and soon will pay the penalty for his many crimes. Dean and Carol, his pretty assistant, are able to relax for the first time in months. Even Absalom, Dean's faithful butler, has taken time out to have a minor operation. In a San Francisco hospital room. Lawsy, Miss Carol, you specs I'll die? Don't be a sill. You only had your tonsils out, Absalom. You're too lazy to die. Please, sir, Mr. Dean, don't leave me here in this place. Well, we'll take you back to Hollywood in just a few days. Now, mind you, remember this is how they wrote those characters back then. This does not reflect on anybody's viewpoints today. Okay, this is just how it was. Outside the hospital corridor, look, Carol, that man. If he were not in the death house, I'd swear that was a conqueror. What's that? John Wells, come back here. Oh, I, oops. John, John Wells, come back here. What's the trouble? Stop him. Oh, please stop him. Stop who? My husband. In the checkered suit. He just left. I'll try to stop him. Fine, Carol. Now go on, Mrs. Wells. John doesn't know. I can't get well. He's going to take some dangerous job to get money to cure me. I must tell him the truth before he gets into awful trouble. I won't be here to look after him much longer. He got away. I'd like to help. 2 days later, as Dean drives Absalom back to Hollywood, he passes near San Quentin, where the conqueror awaits execution. Dat doctor, man, say, I have the bleedingest tonsils he ever did see. I keep thinking of that poor Mrs. Wells. Her husband seems to have vanished off the face of the earth. Isn't that San Quentin where the conqueror is confined? Lawsy, let's us get past quick. We needn't worry about him. He'll be executed Friday. What's that? The alarm siren must be having some trouble at San Quentin. Woo! Near the prison. Meanwhile, strange things are happening in the prison yard. It looks like somebody just got gassed. And in the cell blocks, quick boys, down this corridor. A gas attack has left the guards helpless. A farewell outside the conqueror's cell. Now just remember you're the conqueror, and everything will be okay. It better had be. Oh boy, if this is John Wells replacing the conqueror, then I think he's in a little bit more trouble than anybody realizes. And so, continuing on here. Dean decides to find out why the alarm sounded. I'm going to see what's happening. Hmm. They show is traveling. My, but that car is coming fast. Dean turns and chases a speeding car. That man, Carol, did you see him? He looked like the conqueror. I'll find out. Dean gains on the speeding sedan until a well aimed bullet punctures a tire. Bang! Dean, they're shooting at us. Wait. Oh, Dean, they're shooting at us. Yep, and they got our front tire. Later, Dean checks with the puzzled warden. Didn't those three visitors calmly put on red robes and gas masks and flooded the prison with a harmless, paralyzing gas, and then tore away? It was a screwball performance if I ever saw one. Nothing was harmed. Yeah, I tell you, one of them was the conqueror. Preposterous. A checkup shows no prisoners to be missing. Well, just for my satisfaction, I'd like to see him. It's a conqueror, all right. Guess I need my eyes examined. I told you so. He'll die day after tomorrow. He'll die day after tomorrow. Then you can stop worrying. When he does, Warden. When he does, I will, Warden. Yeah, I wonder if Mr. Wells has figured out yet that he's taking the place of a condemned man. Comes Friday, the day set for execution. Well, today's the day. What'll we do without the conqueror to get in our hair? Dean, Dean, look at this. Unique unique ruse to cheat lethal gas death chamber. Conqueror claims identity mistake. Carol, look through yesterday's papers and see if they carry an obituary notice for Mrs. Wells. Why, yes, Mrs. Wells is dead. I knew it. That was the conqueror in that sedan. Come on, we're going to San Quentin. Just in case I run into an official snag at the prison. A chartered plane speeds them to San Quentin. But suppose the warden won't listen. He must, Carol. Once more in the warden's office. But warden, the man you're executing isn't the conqueror. Absurd, Denton. I can't reach the governor. All I ask is that you check his fingerprints. Absolutely not. It's just a stall to delay execution. I never thought you'd fall for a gag like that. I guess maybe he knows by now. Or you'd think so, anyways. Look, Warden, the least you can do is let me talk to this man alone. If he wants to, it's all right with me. In the cell of the condemned man, make this fast. You are John Wells, aren't you? You agreed to die in the conqueror's place if he would pay for an operation to save your wife. Yes, but I was double crossed. he let my wife die. Of course he did, because he's a bad guy. He never makes deals with bad guys. They're gonna screw you over, and you know it, dude. The warden is going through with the sentence, but this hypodermic may bring you out alive. Quick, stick out your arm, man. And 10 minutes later, a somber procession halts at the death chamber. You're making a mistake of your life. You're making the mistake of your life. I tell you, I'm not the conqueror. All ready, executioner. Then proceed with the execution. Slowly, the lethal chamber is filled with the deadly hydrocyanic gas. Anxiously, Dean waits outside the gas chamber with the warden and guards. It's taking a long time. Too long. Too long. 5 minutes later, still the gas has no effect. I can't believe my eyes, Doctor. Neither can I. It's incredible. 10 more minutes, and the condemned man still lives. There's enough gas in there to kill an elephant. Something's gone haywire. Blow the chamber and bring him out. Why, this is unbelievable. He's still alive. As Dean had hoped, Wells stumbles out of the gas chamber still alive. In the baffled warden's office, Denton, this is uncanny. I don't understand it. Well, I do. Now, will you wait until I can get the governor? Yes, governor. Yes, governor. The warden's here beside me. Suppose you talk to him. The governor proceeds to cut some red tape. I tell you, Warden, Denton is usually right. You'd better do as he asks and check fingerprints. Let me know the results, please. It's crazy, Denton, but I'll take his fingerprints. See to it, Casey, and bring me the prison file on the Conqueror. You're due for a big surprise. Okay, Warden. Here are the 2 sets of prints, Warden. The 2 sets of prints are totally unlike. Nice way of putting that. Totally unlike. Jumping Jehoshaphat. That man I tried to execute is not the Conqueror. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Oh boy. Why did Wells do this? It was desperate but futile. It was a desperate but futile effort to save his wife's life. He wasn't told she was incurable. He was without any funds. There was nothing wrong with the gas chamber. I gave Wells a hypodermic of methylene blue, the only known antidote for hydrocyanic gas. I only guessed at the amount, but Thank heaven it worked. I guess it's good. It's a good thing, after all, that our gas chamber did go on the blink. Yeah, but he just said it didn't go on the blink. He gave him something that the Conqueror's men agreed to finance an operation if Wells would die in his place. Somehow during that gas raid 2 days ago, they managed to substitute Wells for the Conqueror. But when Wells saw his wife's obituary, he naturally wanted to call it off. I hope the poor devil won't be punished too severely. I'll try and get a suspended sentence for him. Oh, yeah. Get that part already. And there we go with that. So that ends that story. All right. So there we go with that one. Now we, of course, have one more story to get through. We have two people. Thank you for being here. Three people now, so that's good. All right, so the last story we're going to look at tonight is going to be the Arrow from Funny Pages number 34, or Volume 4, number 1. Funny Pages. All right, so this one will only have 6 pages. So 10, 9, 8, 6. So 33 pages altogether that we're going through here. So The Arrow by Paul Fountain, I believe. So a modern Robin Hood who fights crime with all his might and a bow and arrow. Hello, Hans. God's Gruber. God's Gruber. I told you and your men I wanted nothing to do with you. Now get out of here. Drop that gun, you fat Dutchman, before I fill you full of lead. This is the last time I'm coming here, so make up your mind. I don't need any protection. So that's your answer. Okay, boys, get to work. What are you going to do? At Gat's order, his men begin wrecking the restaurant. You can't do this to me and get away with it. You big crook. As Hans shows his gun, Gat Gruber, the racketeer, opens fire, and Hans slumps to the floor. As the racketeers rush out of the restaurant, a figure carrying a bow and arrow climbs down the side of the building. It's the Arrow. Oh. Boss, you croaked him. Shut up before I plug you too. Okay, come on, We're clearing out of here. All right, so we kind of read that a little out of order, but sometimes it's how they formatted it back then. So there aren't any arrows telling us. All right. All right, so here we go. In an outburst of lead, the arrow jumps to the ground. At once he draws his bow and takes aim. A moment later, the arrow strikes the motor of the thug's car. He's killed the motor. Now we can't get out of here. Why the? Come on, we're gonna take care of him once and for all. All right, you overgrown Indian or whatever you are, you're as good as dead now. As Gat shoots out an arrow strikes his gun, smashing it to pieces. Instantly, his men open fire in the direction from which the arrow came. But the bullets only strike a blank wall. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? At that moment, one of the thugs is pulled into a dark corner. This should keep you quiet for a while. Ugh! In a split second, the arrow strikes at another thug. Help! He's got me! Look, he's between the street light and us. We can't miss him now. Realizing his position, the arrow picks up the thug and charges as he strikes the men. As he strikes, the men fly left and right. Now that you asked for it, I'm going to give you a dose of your own medicine. Before the thugs can collect themselves, the crashing blows of the arrow strike again. In the turmoil, Gat Gruber makes his way out of the alley, but the sharp eyes of the arrow see him. All right, bud. You've had your fun. A crashing blow polishes off the last thug, and the arrow next runs after Gat's Gruber. Meanwhile, Gat has reached a parked taxi. The motor's running. I've seen enough of that arrow. He ain't human. As the arrow sees Gats drive off in the taxi, he draws his powerful bow. Ow, my arm! As Gats lets go of the wheel, the taxi crashes into a lamppost. At once, the arrow rushes to the taxi. What are you going to do with me? You? I'm turning you over to the police. Serving time for murder will be a lot harder for you than if I took care of you. As the police arrive at the scene and round up the thugs, boy, from the looks of these guys, I'm glad I'm on the right side of the fence. Another exciting episode of The Arrow in the next issue. All right, so as these are coming up a bit more sporadically, I don't know if we'll have a chance to read another Arrow story at some point, but anyways, I hope you guys like that. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start to wind things down a bit here. And I think we will. 1983, 73, 99. Okay. So without any further ado, today is Friday, July 21st, 2023. So why don't we go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. And of course, first off, we're going to head back 50 years ago today. As on this date, 50 years ago today, in Detroit, a couple of title changes happened on a show in Detroit. So the Stomper and Bobo Brazil defeated Ben Justice and Killer Tim Brooks for the Detroit version of the NWA World Tag Team Championship. This is, of course, at a time when the NWA board, the National Wrestling Alliance board, did not recognize a single world championship, but you had a bunch of different territories to recognize their own World Tag Team Championships. NWA did, of course, recognize the World Singles Championship, World Women's Tag, and the World Junior Heavyweight. But there were a few territories that were given permission to acknowledge to have a World Tag Team Championship. This is the Detroit version that the Stompa and Bobo Brazil won from Ben Justice and Killer Tim Brooks. On that same show, the Sheik defeated Johnny Valentine for the Detroit version of the NWA United States heavyweight title. So on this date, 50 years ago today, Stomper and Bobo Brazil defeated Ben Justice and Killer Tim Brooks for the Detroit version of the NWA World Tag Team Championships. Then the Sheik defeated Johnny Valentine for the Detroit version of the United States Heavyweight Championship. So with that, I'll get ready to head on to the next piece of niche history. We move ahead to 1983. As on this date in 1983, Madhouse would release the Barefoot Gen, adult animated war drama film, really based on the Japanese manga of the same name. So on this date 40 years ago today, Barefoot Gen, animated film Barefoot Gen, would premiere on this date back in 1983. Moving ahead to, I believe it's 1999. Yeah, 1999, then 2013. So moving ahead to 1999, which of course was 24 years ago today. On this date, 24 years ago today, the 25th issue of Big Bang Comics from Image went on sale on this date in 1999. So it sold for $3.95. And they have it looked like they have a Batman ripoff right there. Some of these characters look more like they're like ripoffs of DC. But anyway, so on this date 24 years ago today, the 25th issue of Big Bang Comics from Image went on sale. This, of course, is not the first comic series I believe to be called Big Bang. Actually, no, there was a comic called Slam Bang back in the 40s. I was just thinking of. But on this date, the 25th issue of Big Bang in 1999, 24 years ago today, went on sale. And finally, on this date in 2013, 10 years ago today, the adult animated series Axe Cop and High School USA premiered on Fox on this date back in 2013. So 10 years ago today, the adult animated comedies Axe Cop and High School USA premiered on Fox on this date back in 2013. So I thank everybody for being here. Sorry, we're kind of cutting short just because, of course, I know RJ had to take care of some stuff, unfortunately, so he leave early. But I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Hope you guys got a lot out of it. Hope you guys enjoyed the stories. So with that, I thank you all for being here, and I will hopefully see you back here on Sunday when we have our panel. So with that, I thank you guys, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye.